to my next pick now. Oh, wow, I gotta say, I have waited so long for this moment. It has literally been a long time coming. To my next pick coming up this coming week, this coming Friday, the 13th of July, in Clwb Ifor Bach, sees a single launch. It is a femme gig. Any clues? It is a tour gig. There's another clue. Coming up this coming Friday at Clwb Ifor Bach is the amazing Adwaith, and I am so happy to say that joining me right now in the bedroom is Gwenllian and Hollie.
Hey.
You found me. Hello.
We did. Hello. Just about.
This is so weird though, isn't it, now, like this? Because we bump into each other, like, all the time. I'd say the name Adwaith is probably as ubiquitous in my life as the term Brexit.
Yeah. I don't know what ubiquitous means, to be honest.
Like,
what does that mean?
Ever present,
oh,
around,
right, okay.
all the time. Because we bump into each other, like, all the time. I don't think I've ever bumped into any musicians as much as I've bumped into you, Hollie, Gwenllian, and Heleth.
Yeah, no.
You're following us.
Not really. I think you're following me.
Maybe.
Definitely. Yeah. What's been going on, guys?
What are we doing?
Well, yeah, not much.
I mean, this weekend, I mean, like, is a great time to talk about Welsh language music at the moment as well. Tafwyl this weekend, just gone.
Oh, yeah. Tafwyl was great, wasn't it?
It was
we got there with literally minutes to spare. And Ilan was like, you gotta get on stage. And then we somehow managed to get on, set up, and play a successful set in time.
Oh, funny you should say that. I think that's like kind of a thing with Adwaith, really, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Do you remember the Swansea Fringe Festival last year?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we were late for that as well. But
I just remember Gwenllian sort of pulling over an Italian job style in a Nissan Micra and like, quick, get a kin, get us up,
go. Yeah. I think that was the first time though Heleth was there and ready to go before us.
Yeah. Heleth is always the late one, or?
Yeah, well, she travels from London for our gigs, so she's more likely to be late than we are, but
I suppose it's kind of fair enough.
Does it work like that? Trains are normally quite good from London. Transport links down.
Yeah, but if you have a delay, then, yeah, you're stuck there, really.
Okay.
So, struggles.
Fair enough, struggles. So Tafwyl then, yeah, it was a great time for Welsh language music. What a pretty weekend that was.
Yeah, it was
so much going on.
It was lush. It was so warm as well.
I know. Literally felt like we were in
Corfu or something.
Yeah.
I think like at one point it's like 33 degrees, and you're right, like it felt like we were in Cyprus or sometime. Yeah.
And sweat dripping off me by the end. I was like, oh man.
You left your pint in the sun as well.
Oh, we were halfway through playing Valley Vord, and I looked over. My pint had been in the sun for the whole set, and I was like, can I just like stop for a second, move that?
What was in there?
Just the lager, Wrexham lager.
Oh, yeah, the WXM stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was quite nice, actually. Yeah.
Even when it's warm?
It was all right.
Okay.
Yeah. It was still, like, a bit fizzy. It wasn't flat yet. So
okay, but it was warm, though?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, no. Oh, well, there we go.
There we
Can't be choosers.
Yeah, festivals, after all, is the festival spirit. Did you catch anyone else playing Tafwyl this weekend, then, guys?
We saw Omaloma, and we saw Chroma.
Amazing.
What else do we see?
We had to shoot after that because we had to have a practice. Because Hale's back from London now.
Okay.
So we had to lock her in a barn. Yeah.
It's like practice.
Oh, Heleth, you're back. Let's lock you in a barn then.
No, but I don't know what she does though. She comes back. She's like, yeah, but then goes back up to London again.
And then just comes back.
I don't know how she does it. She's back and forth all the time.
I love the interviews without Heleth and the times that Heleth is not around, because we just really get to abuse her quite a lot, don't we? Huh?
We do pick on Hale quite a bit.
Bless
But
her.
it's all in love. It's all in love.
Adwaith's all love is all love. So yeah, you're here. You got the single launch coming up next Friday. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
really
exciting.
excited. Really excited.
I don't know how much we can say, but I've heard it.
We've got a video on the go as well.
Oh, amazing! So I've heard it. It is called
Gartref.
Gartref,
Yeah.
which means
Home.
And what is home to you?
Ooh. Well, I don't know, I feel like...
Somewhere you feel safe, somewhere you can go and just be yourself and kind of relax, and yeah.
What do you do when you're at home? Any main sort of things? Do you sit down and watch Coronation Street?
Definitely not.
I don't know, I don't really spend that much time.
Neither do I, to be honest.
I can't just sit in my house and just do nothing. Like, I've got to be out, I wake up, I have to go out and do something.
Yeah.
I just lose my mind.
Just like two people that drink coffee all the time. Just like, let me clean. I'll clean. It's clean, but I'll clean it.
I don't know. I just don't like being on my own, I guess. That's why I don't like spending loads of time at home.
Fair.
Probably need to get over that, to be honest.
But going home's always really nice.
Yes, of course.
After a gig and
Get into bed, literally.
mum and dad making like fish and chips.
Like, get a meal down you, have a bath, and then just go to bed with some clean sheets. That's literally...
Can't go wrong.
Did you both? So home for Adwaith is Carmarthen. Did you both grow up in Carmarthen? Holly, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we've known each other since we were in like nursery, me and Gwen. And then I moved to Australia when I was like 11, and then came back, and then we were in the same class again.
How long were you in Australia for?
For like 2 years.
Right.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What part of Australia?
Sydney.
No way.
Yeah.
See, I would never have known that. This is why I love stuff like this, because like it's just really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you live like, because like I've only ever been on one holiday, so people know that. I only went to Iceland. That's like the only place I've been.
That's quite a cool place, though.
It is a cool place. I mean, it's very cold.
Yeah.
In terms of temperature, but it's cool in terms of like hipsterness and very expensive £10 bottle of beer. See my little Cigaros beer branded bottle up there? See the branded beer bottle?
A tenner for one bottle.
It was a tenner for one bottle. How'd you know that? Have I told you this story?
No, you just said it.
Oh, okay,
I was just reiterating.
I tend to tell this story a lot. So I've not really explored the world. Now, all I know of Sydney is the bridge that goes across that they shoot the fireworks off of, and a Sydney Opera House. Mm-hmm. What is Sydney like? Can you remember it?
Yeah, I just remember it being really hot, and I remember seeing like a really scary spider, like one of the redback spiders in my garden.
What?
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So like the suburbs of like Sydney and stuff, is it like really, really posh, like Richmond in London?
Yeah, we were in quite a posh place, but we had like a shitty little bungalow in a posh place, so it wasn't really that posh. The school I went to was quite posh, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember much of that?
Yeah. I remember like really tasty. They used to do like lunchtime recess snacks.
So here we go. What did they serve in the school?
So
at Australia?
it was like like a muffin, like an English muffin, but bigger, with pizza sauce and then melted cheese on top.
What?
Yeah.
That's what they were feeding the kids at lunchtime.
Mm-hmm. Not at lunchtime. You have to bring your own lunch. Actually, there was no school dinner.
No.
There was no school dinner in
What?
Australia. No.
I grew up on I don't know about you, Gwenllian, but I grew up on a healthy course of meal tickets.
Yeah.
Did you get meal tickets, Gwenllian, in school?
We didn't have meal tickets. We just had to pay every week, however much it was.
Right.
And then we'd just get food.
I felt like an absolute G, I did. So basically, our family income was quite low when I was growing up. So basically, I used to get like a run of meal tickets for a week. Yeah. And I used to go around school selling them.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life, but also used to go around selling cigarettes in school as well.
That's my biggest regret, I think. Like some guy that we were in school with, didn't he like buy a laptop or something from selling chocolate bars?
Like literally selling
What?
like £1 Galaxies and stuff. And he bought a laptop. He was
Like
doing
saved up.
every day.
That is
Mental,
ridiculous.
innit? My biggest regret.
I couldn't get away with that in our school. We used to have a guy called Wayne. They used to have like this old ambulance, which was like gutted out and like turned into a shop. Yeah, and he just used to park on the school premises every lunchtime, and all the kids used to go down there. I remember those, I don't know if you remember them, but sort of those like fish that were kind of like jelly, but they was kind of like hard jelly. Do you remember those, like in the pick and mixes?
Yeah.
There we go. So, Sydney, eh? Do you remember, Gwenllian, do you remember Holly leaving to go to Australia?
I do remember her going, but when she was in Australia, we didn't have any contact at all, really.
No way.
But she was like my best friend before
No.
she left. And then we didn't really have any contact. Then
we were quite young.
But then she came back and then became best friends again.
So you were best friends, then you left, didn't really say goodbye properly, and then just came back into Gwenllian's life, Holly.
Yeah.
What an emotional rollercoaster. Broken.
Do you remember, now this is probably going to be a really difficult question, but do either of you remember that first occasion where you met in school?
What?
After she came back?
No, the first time when you were young. Do you remember? What's the earliest memory you have of each other? Holly, we'll start with you.
When we were friends before I left for Australia, we used to live next to each other as well.
Yeah.
What,
And
literally
like
next
literally
door?
opposite each other.
Whoa!
Yeah. And
We used to do ballet with each other. as
yeah,
well.
we did ballet together. And I remember, I don't know why this just popped into my head, but I remember.
Do you want Scooby Snacks?
No, yeah, but that is a good story. But I just remember going on my bike and like going into your fence because I couldn't work the brakes properly, and your mum coming out and being like, "Oh, are you okay?" I just remember that. That shit really hurt myself. Yeah.
What's this Scooby Snack story then,
I just
Gwenllian?
have like a vague memory of being in your kitchen,
Yeah.
and you could buy like these like plastic cups with Scooby Snacks in them, but they were like biscuits. And I remember we was really struggling to open one, and we opened it, and they literally went everywhere. There's Scooby Snacks all over the kitchen.
Was there a dog or cat in the house?
No.
Just sort of
No.
like
I think probably
wandered into the kitchen
I'm
and went,
I'm pretty sure he like tried to count the 5-second rule and like went around trying to pick him up.
is that your earliest memory of Hollie, Gwenllian? Or do you have
Yeah,
an early
probably.
one?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Crazy. I can't believe that. It just shows, doesn't it? Like, when friends are meant to be best friends, it's just meant to be when, especially when, like, you just bugger off to Sydney for a couple of years. And, like, Gwenllian doesn't even get that opportunity, like, was it called Great Expectations, is it?
Yeah.
When he's sort of, like, running up the train, do you know, along to the train with the, please don't go, and then the train goes off into the distance towards Sydney. Didn't get that opportunity. And then, talk to me about when you came back then. When was the first time you saw Hollie after she came back from Australia?
I remember being called to reception in school, and the nurse said that Hollie was starting school and that she was back from Australia and she needed someone that she knew to kind of be with her in school just to start her off. And I was chosen.
I was chosen.
I remember that.
How old were you at that point?
Like
12, yeah.
Okay. And then did you march into the room like, yo, bitch, where the hell you been?
Quite
I know, we were like, hey.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say to you, like, but
Yeah. That was cool, though, you know, it's really nice. And then did you sort of feel relief, like, when you started bonding with each other that day?
I don't know. I think it took maybe a couple of months
Yeah.
to get used to each other again.
Because I became friends with this chav in school. And then...
Go on, name drop.
no, I can't name drop.
Oh, okay.
No, Beth. Bethan. I was friends with her.
Can't name drop. Oh, it's Beth.
Fuck it, yeah. But then, yeah, thank God we're not friends anymore.
Did you start, like, did you go through that teenage adolescence period where you were just
teen angst stage.
doing really naughty things, round with your mum? Yeah. Did you row with your mum, Gwenllian?
I row with my mum all the time.
Are you still to this day?
No, not
So do I,
really,
to be
but
honest.
Just disagree. on
Yeah.
things.
Is it one of those ones where, because it's very much like me, even though I'm very much like my dad, it's kind of gone the other way with him. So I'm like really, really good pals with him. But me and my mum, we clash so much. Is it like, do you have that with like one of your parents where it's like literally you clash so much?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I used to with my dad, but now it's more the other way around.
Okay.
I clash with my mum more than my dad because I think we're too similar.
Yeah, so that's it, isn't it? So yeah, so even though normally that's how it happens. Normally, you know, mum is very similar to one of the kids, and then there's like a real clash. Then,
Yeah.
so.
You know, I see myself acting like my mum sometimes. I'm like,
no.
Oh, what's the biggest mum thing you've done so far, Hollie?
Oh, biggest mum thing.
You went to...
Bearing in mind you're in a
you
post-punk band now, don't do this to you.
You went to a cheese and wine tasting.
Oh, yeah. I did that
that's
recently.
alright.
It's quite posh, though, isn't it?
Is that a really mum thing to do?
I suppose.
I'd say yes, more than like a 20-year-old, probably.
Yeah. Really enjoyed as well, to be fair. The wines are tasty. It was organic wine tasting as well, just so you guys know.
I'm just going to dip my... just so you know, it's organic wine tasting. None of this piddle-poffle... This is the sniff and the... what do they do? It kind of looks like they're doing a bird whistle where they put the wine in their mouth and they roll their tongue and they go...
That's mad dull.
Would you do that as well?
No, people that like spit out the wine.
They spit it out?
Yeah, people do that.
the
Why
wine?
get it down you?
Listen to Gwenllian. Gwenllian's got some advice.
Just don't waste it, drink it.
Get it down now. Get it down now.
Trademark. Don't waste it, drink it.
Gwenllian, you're perhaps the coolest member of the band.
I like All right, pass the mic.
Pass the mic. No, I only say it. I mean, Holly hates me now, but you have rocked up to my house today in a multicoloured jumpsuit, a green headscarf, and earrings that would make Pat Butcher cry. Pat Butcher was, to me, for a long time, queen of the earrings.
Yeah,
She still is.
No, she's not. You are now.
Oh.
Your selection of earrings is so good.
I only have like 3 pairs of earrings, but they're quite outrageous earrings.
Are they though? Do you only have 3 pairs? I feel like you've got about as many pairs of glasses as Elton John's got. Do you know what I mean? With the earrings. The earrings are that profound. It's also on the cover of the Femme single as well. You know that
It is
thing with the
actually.
cross?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as the coolest member of the band, potentially, arguably, I mean, Heather's not here.
She can't speak for herself.
Tell me, what's the biggest mum thing that you've done?
Yeah, I am a constant mum.
You're a constant mum.
Yeah, I kind of have to be, really, because I drive everyone around. I buy them food and stuff.
Do you do all the organisation of the band as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Holly's.
Nice.
What's Holly's timekeeping like?
Not
Not ideal, really.
Talk me through today. What time are you supposed to pick Holly up?
11ish.
Yeah.
And it was about 11ish.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, that was good. There was just traffic on the way.
Yeah.
That's why we're late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. Gosh.
But do you have those moments where you sat there outside in the car, like, oh, Holly, I've been sat here for 35 minutes now.
Honestly, right, I leave my house, like, right, okay, I'm coming to pick you up now, get ready. It's like, cool. And then I'll get there, I'll say I'm outside, and she'll take about, like, 10, 15 minutes to get out of the house. I'm like, I've told you I'm on my way, just come on.
What's the reason, Holly?
I don't know. I'm usually like waiting for a toast to pop so I can put peanut butter on it and then eat it in the car.
Okay, fair enough. Does she bring food along for you as well, Gwenllian?
Sometimes.
Okay, that's all right then. It's a good benefit, isn't it? When friends provide food, you know that they're friends for life. Did you guys ever know when you were age, like, 4 or 5, meeting each other for the first time, and then obviously Holly going and coming back, and being 12, 13 in school, that friendship would last until you're approaching your 20s, perhaps in your 20s now. I don't know your ages. I don't ask those sorts of things because I'm a gentleman. However, could you have foreseen that you were going to be in a really cool band here in Wales?
No. I still can't believe it, really. No. Like, the fact... I can't believe that Holly, me and Clwb are Adwaith. Yeah. Like, it's quite a weird thing to get your head around a bit. But no, I wouldn't have thought. Never.
And how did you meet Clwb as well?
We did our first gig in the Power, just us, without a drummer. And then Clwb was really drunk. He came up to us like, oh my God, if you need a drummer, I'm a drummer. We should jam. And then we drove up to Clwb's barn a few days later. And
I can't believe, so she does actually have a barn. You mentioned a barn earlier on. She actually has a barn.
It's the best thing ever.
Wow.
The house is amazing.
What?
It's like a farm, basically.
That's amazing. And she's turned the barn into like a studio or like a practice space.
It's a converted barn, but like upstairs there's like sofas and amps and there's like a chill space.
There's electricity, and then there's like a toilet and a whole other bedroom in there as well. It's nuts.
It's really cool.
Sounds really cool. Did Clwb go to school with you guys as well, or was no?
What school did
she went to Maesyrfa.
Okay.
Maesyrfa, whatever it is now.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, cool. It's crazy, isn't it? Just like how it's just all sort of come together. What are your first memories, Holly, of guitar?
Of guitar?
Yeah. Did that come later? When was the decision? That decision where you and Gwenllian just sat down and went, do you know what? We're going to be a band and we're going to do a gig in the Parrot.
Well, we jammed together before, tried to do some covers and it didn't work very well. What covers did you do? We tried. Gwen was on the keys, and
what did we do? We did
Something Inside So Strong.
We tried to do a cinematic orchestra.
Yeah.
Oh, what, to build a home?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we tried.
Immediately, you have become at least top 3 bands of all time, Karina, after saying that.
We tried.
We tried, but
We got like a verse in, and then we were like,
it's a bit pants, really.
Oh, have you ever thought about going back and just
maybe.
one more time?
I feel like we could do it better
do it
now.
now.
Yeah.
Rather than before, yeah.
Oh, that sounds incredible. I will say my top 3 does fluctuate from time to time, but currently you are in the top 3.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's a great song. So it started with the Cinematic Orchestra as a cover and went, no, this is pants. And then
And then we didn't jam them for ages.
And then we went to MySpe in 2015. And
so
then
really recent then.
yeah, so it's about 3 years. And then we just
was
saw
like,
all
I
the
could do
bands. Yeah,
I could do that.
we started the band.
But you were bezies for like ages and ages
Yeah.
and ages.
Yeah.
Not once did it cross your mind, oh, let's get in a band.
I don't know. It wasn't something that I ever thought about doing. Really,
But you
I-
were
I-
learning and practicing instruments in school then?
Yeah,
or?
I played piano and a bit of guitar and stuff.
I kind
But
of taught you a little bit at the start.
Yeah.
I was like, play this bass line, and then Gwen's a way better bass player than me, which I'm...
practice makes perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
But I only played piano and a little bit of drums before. But yeah, I don't know. We never thought about doing it really.
And then with the guitar and stuff, you're having guitar lessons when you're in school and college and that, Hollie B?
No. Well, basically, I had got my first guitar for Christmas when I was like 9.
Okay.
It's because I used to watch the show, I don't know if you remember it, on Nickelodeon, called Unfabulous, where this girl would like sing. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
And she'd be like in a bedroom singing, I was like, oh, I want to do that.
I'm still a huge Toon fan
Yeah.
now, so like there's this really good illegal app that I'm sorry I can't really mention the name of, but basically it playlists like all like old cartoons and stuff. So you like sit down and like play Ed, Ed and Eddie and like
Class.
Cow and Chicken and then like Nickelodeon kinds. So yeah,
Yeah,
there
so
we
I
go.
got my guitar when I was 9 and then didn't really play it. And then my granddad taught me how to play Everybody Hurts.
Easy though, isn't it?
It's
That
so
was the
easy.
first one. I mean, I can't play guitar, but I got bought a guitar when I was in my emo phase, so I was around about like 16, 17, 29 now, mature boy. But yeah, back in the day, it was just like D, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
then you just like go 1, 2, and then miss one, hit the bottom string, and then come back up. It was so
So easy.
yeah.
But yeah, and then I had guitar lessons then with Dave Crawford.
Big up Dave Crawford.
Big up Dave Crawford, indeed. I don't think anybody else could have taught me because I did music in school and I literally just wouldn't go in my head. Probably didn't help the fact that it was in Welsh as well. I couldn't, yeah.
So it was 2015 MySpe. What bands were you watching at this time?
We saw a Skull Seal.
Love Skull Seal, by the way. Just need to get cheeky in there for a YOLO and all that. Great.
What
was
was
he?
he? Tumbal? No.
Feek?
Feig, probably.
Yeah, Feek was there. I can't even remember.
Can't remember. Hitchmas Morris.
Yeah, I remember being like, I want to do that though.
Yeah.
And be cooler than those people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
possibly.
There we go.
Yeah.
And then Adwaith was born roughly around that time.
Yeah.
And then you started then, so we went from that then to, you went, oh, I really want to do that. Let's try and do a cover of To Build a Home by the Cinematic Orchestra, which didn't go as planned.
No.
So then who made the decision to go, all right, we'll start writing stuff then?
I don't know. I think
we started off with you had Diavolo V already written.
yeah.
But in English. And we decided to translate it and try and jam that.
Yeah.
And that worked out well.
So what does that translate to? Sorry, I'm
The
poor.
devil.
You what, sorry?
Me and the devil.
Me and the Devil.
Yeah.
Wow, quite bluesy that.
Quite bluesy,
Yeah.
yeah.
Was that in your teenage angst years as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have somewhere, I'm not going to show you even if I find it, but somewhere in this room there is a songbook. And my mates take the mick out of me all the time because when I was like 16 I used to think I was a rapper and stuff. And I used to call myself Minty, Mintee. I can't even believe I'm telling
Yeah.
this. And there's a songbook here somewhere where I literally like scribbled like some of the most god-awful lyrics of all time. Please tell me that I'm a normal human and both of you also went through this process.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think it was basically the lyrics to the Home and Away theme tune, you know? Won't you say that you'll stay Hold me in your arms, don't let me
That's
go.
amazing. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, we have definitely. Well, I've written some crap songs in my time.
Any to spring to mind that you want to divulge?
Not
We can
really.
talk about the bad things as well as the good things.
No, I've forgotten them, thankfully.
Yeah, I think we probably lost them and
Somewhere.
they're gone.
Along the way.
Yeah.
But the debut single from Adwaith was a song called Poisai, which I don't know if I'm right, but I'm hoping. I'm not great. Oh no, it's Poisig, that is. Poisig is important.
Yeah.
Poisai is...
Weight or stress.
Ah, okay. Stress.
Yeah, so weight or stress, either one.
Okay.
I see it more as weight, though. I wouldn't call the song stress.
Well, it's
Yeah.
about,
Yeah,
but it is about stress.
I guess.
When you guys,
But anyway.
yeah, when you guys started out, it was quite. I will listen to it now. It's quite a folky sound. It was quite sort of, yeah. You know, I mean, for those people who've seen Adwaith since, probably when I play this now, will be like, God, that was Adwaith's first single. Tell me about how you came to write that and yeah, how that all came together.
It was actually one of the first songs I wrote, and I wrote it for my sister, and it's basically like a letter to say that I'm always there for her if she needs
Oh,
any help or whatever. Yeah, so we just jammed that and then we used it as our first single.
great. We're gonna hear it now. Here we go.
Os mae pobl yn galw enwau, paid meddwl bod ti ar ben dy hun. Os mae'r pwysau yn gormod i ymdopi dire, ymlacio gyda fi, gyda fi, gyda fi. Ti'n cofio'r bechgen o ti arfer ffansio, a the bant a beca o ti croes. Ti'n cofio faint mor ddigalon o ti, ond drych fel mae bywyd yn mynd ymlaen. Felly weld tan yn dy lyged, ond mae rhywbeth yn neud i ffordd. Mae'r cyfrinachau'n pwyso'n drwm ar dy swyddau.
Absolutely beautiful there. That was Adwaith's debut single, Poisai. When did that come out, guys? Oh, gals, I should say. I say guys all the time. We'll get on to the feminism in a bit. I've always wanted to speak feminism with Adwaith. I'm going to say it's a faux pas. I can't help it. Like, I always say guys all the time. I don't mean it
Sorry,
maliciously.
I say guys all the time.
I say guys too.
It's really annoying. Anyway, yeah, so, yeah, when did that come out?
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't remember when, to be honest.
Or is it 2018? Yeah, 2 years ago.
2016. You made the crucial mistake then of thinking that I didn't understand Welsh, but I'm actually learning how to speak
No.
Welsh. So when I see ti'n cofio bachgen o ti'n arfer fansio, you both started blushing like, ah! So to me that looks like, and I'm probably way off, looks like something like, you remember the boys I used to fancy?
Do you remember the boy you used to fancy?
Oh, do you
Yeah.
remember the boy you used to fancy? Okay, so basically you were telling your sister, do you remember that boy you used to fancy?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. What did she say when you...
She hasn't said anything to me about the song, actually.
She probably doesn't know.
No, she probably doesn't know. She's such a drip.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
What was it about that particular boy she used to fancy? Was he a bit of a dick, was he?
I don't know, we just made it up, really.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
That's
Okay.
just like, I just made it up for the letter.
Yeah, fair enough.
Sorry.
It's a lovely letter. It's a beautiful song. But yeah, when I mentioned then I was just going to play, you're like, oh, I might cringe just a little bit.
I don't know, I struggle to listen to our old songs sometimes.
No, I don't know. It's just, we're not like that. We don't sound like that anymore.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice though, isn't it? To start.
Yeah.
To build that foundation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, Pwysa's on the album.
Oh.
But it's to kind of show how much we've developed as a band, because that's where we started. And
yeah.
it's like a journey. The album is a journey, and it's how we've grown up. So it'd be nice to have it on it.
We're going to talk about the album in a minute. I'm very, very excited about that. But it does seem like a long time ago now, Pwysa, doesn't it? Does it seem like forever to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like forever, but it actually hasn't been that long at all.
No. But it does also show how quickly people can change in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, I suppose we should really talk about the album then, shouldn't we? I guess it's very, very exciting. I remember we dipped into it a little bit when we spoke very, very briefly before you played Focus Wales about it. The album is coming this year.
Mm-hmm. It is in October.
Longly anticipated, even though
Yes.
it's only been, like 18 months since I've properly known you. But for me, that's, I've been waiting for it, yeah.
So we.
Yeah.
I can't wait to release it.
Okay, so Adwaith, title.
Melyn.
No, really?
Yeah.
Which means yellow.
Yeah.
Love it. Why yellow?
I don't know. I think we were thinking of an album name for ages.
Yeah.
And we were stressing ourselves out about it a little bit. And then Hill just went, what about Melyn? And it's just, we were just like, that sounds really nice. And I like, just a nice word.
I remember, because I kind of have a really weird relationship with the Welsh language. So when I grew up, when I was being brought up in school and stuff, they used to teach it like mandatory in school, but it wasn't like in a Welsh medium school then, where it would just be like, that would be like first language. But I do remember Melyn always being like one of my favourite words.
Yeah.
That and heaven yar, just like heaven yar.
It's a good word.
Yeah, it's a good word. It sounds like Vikings, doesn't it, on like a boat over from somewhere. Heaven yar. That actually just means like really cool and creamy things that I need now in this greenhouse of a bedroom that we're in. So Hollie, like, this must mean the world to you to know that very, very soon the world will be able to hear Adwaith stuff.
I'm so excited. It's going to be coming out on vinyl as well, which is going to be sick. It's just having that finished product in my hands, I'm actually going to be like, it's going to be amazing.
So it's sewn together like a story. So does it start with Pwysa then?
No.
Okay.
But Pwysa is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Pwysa is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts with the way that you grinned at me then. It starts with a track that we've not heard yet.
It just starts with the intro.
Okay.
And then it goes into another song.
Yeah.
Okay.
It all flows really well. Like, they go into each other. Like,
See, now that's what I love about Boy Azuga's album. The stitch work in it, and just that sort of real sort of close scrutiny to like making an album sound like an entire product than just a collection of songs. Yeah.
That's what we were going for as well.
So is there going to be like loads of really lovely reprises and stuff in there, and just like gorgeous sounds and samples?
We've got quite a few like cheeky little short tracks in there that you wouldn't expect.
And a lot of noise as well.
A lot of noise.
Yeah.
Like real like sort of gnarly like like white noise like.
I don't feel like people are going to expect what we've got for the album. Joe?
Yeah, it's quite dark, it's quite noisy. It's different.
Different, but yet the colour that's on the front of the album is Melyn.
That's why we want it's like a contrast.
I love juxtapositions like that. And it's like the sleeve going to be like a Melyn colour, or
There's yellow in it, yeah.
there's yellow in it.
Yeah.
God, see, I love this. It's kind of like a guessing game, and it's like, guess who? All I need
questions.
is like, 20 questions. Well, all I need is kind of like, do you know that massive board of things with all little different like sort of album covers on it? Do they have glasses? No.
Yeah. Guess who?
Yeah, guess who? That's it. Yeah, guess who? All right then. Okay. Well, I'm going to try not to guess too much, but I'm massively looking forward to it. You can tell me about the process of writing and recording that album. Though. How long has it been going on for?
2 years since we started. Really, there's tracks on there.
Writing wise, there's tracks on there where we wrote right at the start, and there's some new ones as well. But we went up to record with Stefan Pringle last summer, and we've gone back to him a couple of times since then, just to finish it off. But it's all done now.
Some of the new tracks we've been very unorganised with, like before we go and do it. A lot of the time would be
like the new single. We went into recording knowing that we had to write a single,
have a single finished, ready to be recorded.
We just kind of went in there, wrote it there, recorded it there, did everything in a day.
We had like chords on a few lyrics, but we put it together in the studio
in a day.
In a day, yeah.
I love those sorts of stories. Is it? I can't remember the name of the band now. Oh, the Wave Pictures. I was talking to Ashley from Spillers Records about it a couple of weeks ago, and they wrote an entire album in a day and recorded it in a day.
That's mental.
It's incredible, isn't it?
How is that possible?
I don't know. I just assume they
Speedy.
Speedy Gonzalez. Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. So, are the themes being explored in this album then, would you say?
I think it's a lot about us growing up, and we write quite personal songs, so the songs are a reflection of what we've experienced and what we think.
It's quite a nostalgic album, I feel, for me.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic, and it just looks back over the past 3 years, basically.
Yeah, I love Femme isn't on the album. We've already spoken about that, and you made that conscious effort because you'd like this to be a Cymraeg release, which is, fair enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one of the in Femme, I love the sort of that sort of edginess with the electronic sort of sampling that's going on in it. Can we expect that in Melyn at all?
Yeah, there's a couple of tracks where we use a lot of synths and a lot of weird noises. Yeah. But
I love weird noises. Is that weird noise that you did for Horizons in there, Ollie, somewhere? Is it in there?
That video is so funny. No.
Is it in there?
No.
Do it now. No. Do it now on demand.
Girl, 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 girl.
Amazing.
I didn't. Do you know when you actually did that for me outside the Grand Theatre that evening? I couldn't picture what it was, and then I was going home in the car, and I was like, and I was like, has she literally just spent all of her childhood watching Shrek?
Yeah, yes, basically.
Yes.
I love Shrek.
Yeah, it's a great film, but is that where it came from?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Someone taught. I can't remember who taught me how to do it. But no, actually, it was in primary school in Australia. Funny enough, someone was like, "Oh, I can make this cool noise," but she was my friend, and she didn't tell anyone else how to do it, and it was just us two making.
But she
that
told
noise.
you how to do it.
I felt really cool. I could make
so
this noise.
two of you could do it, and no one else could do it, and just looked at you in jealousy as you were there just doing it. Yeah. See, you were performing from a really early age then.
Yes.
Even if it was. Great. I can't do it. No. But there we go. Whatever. Over it. Error. But yeah, this album then that you see, it's about your development and you finding yourself and growing up and stuff. It is nice, isn't it, when you can just sort of sit back and think about because we spoke just before we start this interview then about the new single. I've heard it and it's bloody glorious. And if this interview goes the way I want it to go, the next thing that everybody listening to this will be able to hear is 20 seconds of that song. If not, you're going to hear me cry now. So that's in there just in case. But we'll also be in there even if it does go in there. Now that I've got around that, one of the things I love about this new single is that when I listen, so if someone come up to me and said, "Oh, what's Adwaith to you, Minty?" I'd be like, "Lipstick Coch, Femme," which we'll speak about in a minute, because the first time I heard that at Le Pub last November, it completely blew my head. But like that's why I think like upbeat, punky Adwaith. So when like you go back to Poisai like we did earlier on, who does the vocals in that, by the way? Is it you, Gwenllian?
No, it's
No.
me.
Oh, so it's Hollie. So you wrote it and then Hollie sings it. But yeah, when you go back to that sort of thing, you kind of go, oh wow, I didn't realise that this was, that Adwaith was like at one point this low tempo.
Yeah.
Because I only found out that song existed through an interview that I watched. So, but then when hearing that new song, it's almost as if you've gone, Poisai, right, okay, let's explore, let's find ourselves, let's find our sound, let's find out what we're about, found it in some capacity, added that to everything that you were before, and that is Adwaith 2018. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think that we get influences from a lot of different places, and the songs that we write are all very different, but we do like to keep some sort of link between them, and to make it still sound like us, but the songs are all different. I think that's what's important. So I guess going back to that kind of post-folk, post-punk, quite dark music, I think is what we've gone back to in this album.
It has to be punk to a degree,
Yeah.
because punk is rebelling against the norm. That is what punk is defined as. And the norm in modern day society is that boys wear blue and girls wear pink. And we've never really had this discussion about it, so I'm getting very excited to sit down and have a discussion about feminism with Adwaith. But before we do, I'd like to play Lipstick Coch, which is an incredible song. Talk to me about this and sort of how this came together, guys.
You wrote it, Gwen, about a date you went on.
Yeah, I wrote it about a date I went on in Bath when I was in uni.
Okay.
And I had the lyrics for the song, and I had a bass line. But
What a bass line.
that's a good bass
What
line.
a bass line.
I'm quite proud of myself.
I think it's probably the best Adwaith bass line
possibly.
pre-Melyn. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had Melyn, so I can't
I
say.
agree with that. I agree
Yeah.
with that. But yeah, and then we just got together, jammed it. I think we wrote it the same day as Valley Ford.
Yeah, we wrote Valley Ford and Lipstick Coch.
the same day.
See, and I prefer Lipstick Coch to Valley Ford, even though Valley Ford is more successful in terms of digital stats, which we'll talk about later. Lipstick Coch, to me, is the better song.
Fair enough.
You're like, no, you're wrong, Minty.
No,
I don't know. I think they're both good songs. I don't know. I can't really pit our songs.
Did the
against
date
each
go
other.
well, by the way, or did it go badly?
What now?
The date that you wrote the song about.
Yeah, no, it did go well. Did well, yeah, it was
okay.
alright. Yeah.
So you basically.
I didn't see him after that, but the date was actually alright.
Oh, okay. It was like one of those Greece things where then you meet up again in the summer holidays. You're like, oh, we went for a date that one time, and you're a dick that drives the T-bird.
He was wearing red lipstick, wasn't
Yeah, he was wearing red
Oh,
lipstick.
so he was wearing red lipstick.
Yes, he was.
Right. Okay.
And he looked
so when
fit,
you
to
say
be honest.
teen Gwisk or Lipstick Coch,
yeah.
it's you like
He was wearing
that
red
guy.
lipstick, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it. There's a band in Cardiff right now that I'm really, really excited about called Laundrette. And they've only done 4 gigs so far, but they literally, get out the, I don't know what's used to make it happen, but the sort of like foundation that like pales people out and stuff, and wear like lipstick and eyeshadow to really pander the eyes out. I love that
Yeah,
sort of
it's cool.
stuff. Why not, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Why should we be restricted to just look
If you
like
want to do it, do it.
Exactly. So on that note, we're going to play this, which is my favourite Adwaith song to date. This is Lipstick Coch. love it. That's Lipstick Cook there by Adwaith, who join me right now in the bedroom. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for sticking around.
That's
So there's several other things on the agenda that we've not discussed yet. Let's just talk firstly about how great Gartref is.
He's awesome.
He is a great human being, is he not?
He is amazing.
The best.
Let's talk about him. He runs Libertina Records. He has a cheeky grin. And it's just surprisingly calm all the time.
I don't know how he does
I
it.
honestly have no idea. He's like a superhero.
Holly, have you ever seen him get angry?
No, I don't think I have.
Have we? Maybe a little bit angry, but not too.
Not so like his face crinkles when he gets angry and he frowns.
No, we
I don't
probably-
think I've ever seen him frown.
No.
He's probably frowned at us, but not angry.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, frowned at you. Oh gosh, I've never had to frown yet. Thank you. Talk to me about how you got involved with previously Decidedly, now Libertina Records, and sort of how all of that came about. I would assume it's because you're based in the Carmarthen area.
Yeah, I think he came to our first gig in the Parrot. Well, I'm really surprised, like, back then, he actually saw something in us, and I thought, wow, I want to work with them. I don't know how he saw us on stage and thought
But
that.
I was in York.
Like you were, just randomly, like.
I was visiting my ex in York.
Was he the Grand Duke?
Maybe.
Okay.
Shh, keep it on DL.
Okay. Where was he on the hill? Was he at the bottom or at the top?
In the middle.
Oh, okay, he was in the middle. So he was neither up or down. Sorry. All right, we'll move on. It's really warm.
It's so warm. Yeah, and I was in this, like, I don't know, it was like a train kind of museum or something. I don't really know why I was there. But we got an email through from Decidedly asking for a meeting with us because they wanted to sign us.
Yeah.
So we went to Cafe Nero's, met
I was
them.
so nervous when we met him. I was like, oh my god, is that him? Is that him over there? Hi, hello. It was so awkward the first time. And then
Did you just have coffee or did you have a cake as well?
Ooh,
I think that's more
I had
important than the
cake.
contract, isn't it?
I feel like I probably would have had
I
cake.
think I probably would have had cake too, to be
To calm you
honest.
down.
Yeah.
Have a cheeky caramel shortbread. Calm
It's gotta
down.
be done.
Yeah. But yeah, I went for that then.
The rest is history then, I guess, is it?
Yeah.
And then Libertino, now has just been... And it is not just with Adwaith, but, with bands like, Los Blancos, Gartref, and the Tates and stuff. He is so supportive of all his acts, isn't he, really? Just like... in terms of, as you should be when you run a record label.
It's just him though on his own. I don't know how he
That's
does
what I
it.
mean, yeah. Like, and and some labels out there, not going to name names, but they just press buttons and copy and paste emails and stuff when they do press releases. But to me, Griff, like, just personifies, like, the optimum sort of record label owner,
Yeah.
Yeah, he is so supportive of loads of kinds of music. And he's only been good to us and everyone else on the label. And I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he has time because he has a full-time job as well.
I know, right? So the label isn't even full time,
No.
but I'd say it's potentially like one of the largest rosters in Wales on that label. I'd say he's probably got as many artists on his roster as Rich from Bubble Wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's crazy. I don't know. I have no idea.
How do you do it, Griff? Let me know. minty@mintysgig.co.uk. Oh, right. Well, it's time, isn't it? So, last November at the Horizons Launchpad Fund, I just went along because I heard that there were some great acts playing. You guys were one of them. You got some Launchpad money. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
But you guys played a song called Femme that I don't know how I never heard you play it before. I think like one of the songs that I always managed to catch when I watched you guys live was Velly Ford, and I remember saying to you, I can't remember, it was very recently, and you like laughed me out of the room. I was like, whenever you sound check, it sounds like Enya.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? But I always managed to catch Velly Ford, but I never catched, or I've ever, until that point, never caught that all those times I'd seen you to that point, which I think was about 6 or 7. Never caught Femme live before, and then you sang it, and I just immediately felt really embarrassed to be a man. I did. I remember, and I came up to you after the gig, Holly. Do you not remember? And I said that was amazing, but I do feel like really shit for having a penis.
That's not the aim.
No, I know it's not the aim, but it's about, you know, trying to break down those barriers between gender and saying, look, who gives a shit what you got? Yeah. But at the same time, I just felt like really embarrassed. Yeah.
I suppose that's the aim of the song, is to make you question it.
Yeah.
Make you question the whole
idea of feminism and what
patriarchy.
Yeah, and what women go through.
It's an incredible song, and it's so well written. Who wrote that?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Are you literally the Bernie Taupin of the band? Like,
I actually don't write all the songs. I don't know all the songs we're talking about.
So what, Holly, what have you written?
I wrote Valley Void.
Okay, right. Oh, so she wrote the pop.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
A lot of the other songs then, apart from those, I think we've written together.
Yeah, nice. But like, so Gwenllian, like, wow. Where'd that come from?
When I was in uni in Bath, I went to this like club and music venue called The Nest.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the women's toilets, they had loads of like articles and posters about feminism, and it was plastered all over the walls. And I got home quite steaming, and wrote the song.
Bobble steaming.
Yeah.
And then you woke up the next morning and was like, oh my god.
Oh my god,
I've literally written the next, like, I don't know, Candle in the Wind.
I wrote the thought I was a slut, but I'm acting like a man line though.
Ah, okay.
Which I'm quite proud of.
You love that. Every time you hit that line, you're like, this is my line. Yeah, and that's the one that always comes up in the articles when I see people talking about that song. Yeah, but I'm just acting like a man. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Why can't, like, women get their boobs out and walk around?
I don't know.
I don't really know.
Just got a bit of extra fat on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all it is, a bit of tissue.
I've seen men with boobs, that are big, though.
It's so ridiculous.
It is. What's that about? Why do you think, just personally, why do you think that is frowned upon in modern day society?
Because they're sexualised. But I feel like feminism is more than just women being like, I'm allowed to have hairy armpits and I'm allowed to have my boobs out. It's about like lots of people who are like, oh, we don't need feminism in this society. It's like, you might not need it, but there's millions of little girls everywhere that do need it.
It's always difficult for, and people listening to this now would be like, Minty, just shut up, mate, because it is really hard for a bloke to sit here and talk about feminism in this way, because I can't understand. I don't have female body parts. I'm going to try in this conversation to understand as much as I can, and I totally think like I care so much for everyone to have an equal say, like no matter what. But at the same time, like there's loads of people in the world that just don't see it that way.
Yeah, and I it's not like us not being supportive of male issues either. People no. People are like, oh well, what about males? But
when people like mention that if I know a dad and a mum get divorced, the mum is going to have the child mostly all the time, and then that's not fair, because obviously the dad could be a better dad than the mum. You know, whatever the situation
you just
is.
don't know.
But feminism is about those issues as well.
Yeah,
it's just called feminism because women are the ones that have been oppressed over the past
for so long.
Yeah, for
like
years and years.
It's only you think about it, like how far everything has come in 100 years. It was only just like, what was it, last week, the week before, there was a march around Cardiff and around the UK to celebrate the fact that women had the vote for 100 years. 100 years ago, you wouldn't even be able to vote, like, have a say, because you're different and you have different body parts to me. What's that?
And that was only the first like flow of votes as well, because I think it was women over 30 couldn't vote, women who were pregnant couldn't vote, women who were married couldn't vote. It was just, I don't know, it's ridiculous.
Why? I don't understand. Have you ever looked into the history of it or anything like that to decide why people think like that?
I haven't actually.
I'm quite shallow-minded in that way. I've not explored the history of feminism. Maybe I should, but I just don't understand why people think like that.
I did history in school and we studied the vote and all that, but it still doesn't really make sense at all.
No.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason really. No good reason for it to happen.
The conversation keeps happening though, and no matter sort of what conference or music event I go to or whatever, this conversation is a conversation that keeps happening, and that's a good thing. But at the same time, I go, why does this conversation have to happen? Why does feminism need to be a thing? Why can't the world
just be equal?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so surreal, and I think, I don't know what you guys think about it, and I'll ask you now, but I just think the way to solve it is to stand every man that exists in the world and boy in a line, and every woman and girl that exists in the world in a line, and just everybody just engage in the conversation at the same time. That's the only way, isn't it? That it's going to be solved. But
I don't know, we just have to work until we're living in a world where feminism doesn't have to exist. And that's going to take a while.
Can you tell me, because yesterday, funnily enough, I spoke to Misha Paris, or I was in a room whilst the conversation was happening with Misha Paris. I don't know if you know who she is. She's soul singer, big soul singer. She's just about to release a book that discusses how women suffer in the music industry, right? So I haven't read her book, it's not out yet. I've seen articles floating around, but from first-hand experience, could you just tell me what it is to be a female and a female musician? What restrictions and barriers does that place on your life?
I don't know. I think most of the time growing up, listening to music and watching bands and stuff, watching bands locally, going to gigs, I just didn't see any girls playing guitar really, and anything that wasn't
folk or traditional music.
I felt quite intimidated starting off when we first started doing gigs and stuff, just
no way.
Feeling I couldn't play as well as other people or other boys that I'd seen playing.
And I feel like we felt they might not consciously doing it, but subconsciously not listening to our set or going away for our set, or not thinking that we were actually good enough, and they kind of didn't really want to listen to us.
Just because of your gender? Not because you were god-awful?
No, because we weren't god-awful.
No, right,
so we weren't, we think we were, but we actually weren't that bad.
No.
But I think because there was such a lack of women in the music scene, when people saw the women, they kind of just... I don't know about this.
And I feel if I went, if I was in a gig and I just saw a new band from my area doing a gig, I'd be straight at the front and cheering them on and supporting them. But
other people weren't doing that.
Other people wouldn't do that for us, and I just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's different now. But But when we started off, that was a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. And I've heard loads of people I've never been victim of anything happening to me in a dark way, and perhaps that's because I'm a 16 stone man with a massive beard, I guess. But I just keep hearing, and when I spoke to Hannah from Heads Above the Waves earlier this year, I just keep hearing these things about women getting harassed at gigs and stuff. Is that a thing? Is that something that you've come into touch with?
Yeah, but I was at a gig in Sin City once, and some guy just would not stop pinching my ass, and I was like, "Get away from me! Leave me alone."
Luckily, we don't really get any, or we haven't had any harassment at our gigs.
Yeah.
because I would literally
I would literally kick him in the face.
Holly headbutt.
But there was a tweet that was, I don't know, from Peach Club, is the band, I think, and they're from Manchester, and they tweeted that there was a couple of men in the audience, basically talking about their bodies and talking about how much they wanted to fuck them and stuff like that, while they were playing, and they just stopped playing and went off and was like, I'm not playing any more of this until they're gone.
Yeah.
They got kicked out in the end, but that shouldn't need to happen.
No.
It's just
No, absolutely. Like, why should that happen? Yeah.
what are they getting it from it?
Just from being...
You literally just look like a pleb.
Yeah. It is
funny,
weird,
though.
but then...
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
No, it's not, but you laugh because it's just absolutely,
ridiculous.
Ridiculous, to almost to hilarity. But I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? Because, being a bloke, I feel like from a really early age, I was told to, not consciously, subconsciously, like we were on about there. It's like you're expected. What's expected of you as a human being on this earth? And if you're a bloke and you're born into a bloke, you're expected to be manly, and you're expected to think, right, one day I'm going to be really successessill and I'm going to be super awesome.
It's such a harmful way to think.
It is.
Everyone can do
it, especially as a child. That to have that placed upon you is really harmful.
Yeah, it is. But that's how it goes, isn't it? It's almost like we're no different to the animal kingdom. Yet we've got cognitively in our brains, we've got so much more to offer the world. Yet, we're just a bunch of animals. Yeah. I told you it was going to get deep, didn't I? Which brings us almost to the close of this interview. It's been a gorgeous interview. Just sat here chatting nonsense with you and just getting into some really deep discussion and stuff. Clwb Ifor Bach this coming Friday the 13th, where it's normally where bad things happen. A really good thing is going to be happening on Wimberley Street, where you launch your latest single, Gartref. Tell me what people can expect if they come along to the Fem gig this coming Friday.
You can expect new tunes, obviously, because it's the new single, which we haven't actually played live before. So it's the first time we're playing it live in front of an audience.
You normally find that with a band, don't you? So they play the single live and then it comes out and then you go, oh, yeah, I remember that from the gig. Yeah. But no one's heard
us play this live before. Float are great, Cadno are great. So...
Yeah. It's going to be a really good gig, a party.
And you guys promoters as well. Fem is your promotion company, organisation, thing that you kind of just go under. It's really important, isn't it, to have female promoters in the world?
Yeah, 100%. I think... I have had people slagging off Fem because it's anti-men, or it's detrimental to feminism because you're excluding men and it should be equal, so you should be having equal gigs.
I don't know how many gigs I've been
to where it's just been all male. Yeah. That's a
Look at festival lineups at the moment as well, you know what I mean? I'm not going to drop names. Certain big festivals out there at the moment have 3 really good acts. I mean, I'm not disputing that any of the bands on there are terrible, but out of all the bands, just 3 of them are female.
Yeah.
What's that about?
How is that possible? There's so many female artists, and especially so many female artists who are really popular and should be headlining, and they're not. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no,
that's the word of this interview, I think. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It's just so ridiculous.
Describe the new Adwaith album to me.
Ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous. That's it. Amazing. Hollie and Gwenllian, it's been absolutely gorgeous speaking to you on this very, very bright and warm afternoon, and I hope to God this sounds great on the listen back. We're going to finish now with one of your, it is the most popular Adwaith song out there at the moment. Hollie's got a grin on her face because it is the one you've written. Yes. Fel y fod, which means...
How to be.
and how to be. So, how did you come together with Veliford?
I wrote it on the train back from Gowerton to Carmarthen because my ex-boyfriend was really annoying. I was just stressed. Yeah. But it's not about my ex-boyfriend though. Like, I don't need to think that I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sad, I'm gonna write a song about my ex-boyfriend.
How to be. So basically it's about how you should be or how he should be,
it's about
perfection,
more about me rather than him, but that's just what put me in a mood. And it's about not knowing how to be and expectations that people have of like what you should be doing. And yeah.
Like we said earlier on, the bad times creating the good times in that sort of way. Guys, it's been amazing speaking to you. Thank you so much for joining me here, and we're going to go into Veliford now, or as I like to call it, Enya. I love you both, you know I do. We'll catch you next week at Clwb Ifor Bach. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Woo!